broke it.
The Speyside would see Neil Coulter and Hannah Sesford return to Suzuki Power after their year in the Puma. Sadly, it wasn't to be a great event for them, retiring with crank sensor failure after SS5. Taking second in class, Neil Cowan Jr. and Thomas Bruce had another solid run, despite a couple of spins. In stark contrast to their approach to the border, Scott Peacock and Robin Neal were absolutely going for it on the Speyside, taking the class win by 28 seconds and 33rd overall. This result puts the two MG crews on equal points in the class, with 1 win and 1 second apiece. On their first event of the year as a team, James Campbell and Kenny Fogo were the only registered Class 2 finishers. A very good drive in the Sunbeam saw them also take a solid 29th overall.
Really delighted, yeah. We had quite a few issues to drive her in today as well, but we're happy to get a finish and to get a win. A nice cherry on top, you know.
Different conditions from the border. It was pretty dusty out there, but how did you find the stages?
It was dusty, but it was clearing. But the stages were great. They were nice and fast and flowing in sections, and then a wee bit tighter in other areas. It was great stages, really. Yeah.
No problems with the car?
We've had problems with back brakes all day. We've been having to pump the pedal the whole day. So that's a wee bit off-putting, but we're at the end, that's the main thing.
We would lose Tom Howie, Nicky Addison and Fraser Smith throughout the course of the day. And that would only leave 2 registered finishers. The Speyside was a much better day out for Caroline Carslaw and Charlie Sayre Payne. Second in class, 40th overall, and most importantly, a finish. Over 2 minutes up the road, Jim McDonald and Michael Cruikshank put their disastrous border behind them with a dominant class win. Top Junior and the Star Drive Award topping off a great weekend for the Fabia crew.
Just delighted to actually finish a rally after a year and a half. Bad luck, really.
Fantastic result. I mean, you started in the 80s and you finished 23rd, and I believe you only just missed out on best improvement in seat.
Yeah, I know. 57 place improvement, missed out by 1, gutted, but can't complain about the day. It's been a great day. A bit hot and dusty, but great day all round.
Top Junior as well, of course, so that's another set of maximum points for you.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, we didn't score at all on the borders, so it's good to come back and get a full score for the junior points as well on this one. So hopefully it's a trend that can continue this year.
Good. Michael, your testament to how dusty the car is inside. Any particular reason for this? Is this holes, or had you just forgotten to put the window up?
A bit of both. No idea. Absolutely no idea where it's coming from. Absolutely no idea. But
it'll take some cleaning out the car.
Yeah, luckily I don't get that job. But it's the joys of being a co-driver.
There was carnage in Class 4 with only 1 registered finisher. Fraser McNichol, Douglas Watt and Paddy Munro all failing to see the end.
Right on the line. No, we nearly a spin there, but managed to get it all sorted out and rounding away again.
After their engine let them down with one stage to go on the border, John and Megan O'Kane were back to try and kickstart their season. Despite 2 minutes of road penalties, they were the only crew to survive to take a first win of the season. Unfortunately, it would be a very early bath for Ernie Lee and Patricia Milligan, losing a wheel in Cooper Park. Second for the second event in a row, Ian and Don Milne had a much better day out than on the border. No road penalties this time out.
You like these stages though, you've been through these a few times.
Not for many years, many years. I think the last time I did these was on the Granite, way back in the Escort in the 80s. So.
Gartley Moor, eh?
Yeah, Gartley Moor.
They've let and changed the name, but it's still Gartley Moor, isn't it?
But the other thing is they've knocked trees down, so this looks completely different.
Almost 8 minutes up at the finish, Tom Coftry's weekend had started poorly when the car conked out on the pre-event press day. An emergency phone call saw spare parts brought up from Ayrshire, and the Gallant ran perfectly on the event to take a second-class win of the season. We would lose a couple of crews throughout the day, Michael Renton's 306 retiring with mechanical problems. It didn't stop him in his efforts to sell it, however.
Buy the car.
It's for sale.
There you go. Now,
Anyone looking for a car, this one's for you.
sell it, come on.
Fantastic car, very cheap. Today I'll do you a special offer. If you come and see me today, I'm your man.
So have you been round Cooper Park before?
No, I've flown a drone around it, but I've never driven or been in a car around it.
You've flown a drone round it? Oh, yes. Technology. Moving on, eh? So, what's the target for today? Just to get to the finish?
Yeah, Kev, he was out in the borders, but he had problems with the car in stage 2, so just try and get a finish, that's the main thing.
Kevin Gray had installed cameraman Callum Shanks in the hot seat for the Speyside. Unfortunately, there was no change in Kevin's luck, gearbox problems putting them out in Ordy Quiche. Finally back out after his Big Hills accident, Johnny Mackay had an adventurous day. First they traced a lack of power to binding rear brakes. After this was sorted, the gearbox then began to give problems. Despite all the issues, the Fiesta man survived to take third in class. Taking second in class and 37th overall, Lindsay Henderson was very happy at the end of the event. Lindsay starting to get used to the new turbocharged car in the forests and moving into second in the class points.
No, we've never done this before and everyone tells us what a great rally it is, so yeah, we're definitely looking forward to it.
Have you been looking at the video in the stages? Because they are lovely.
Yeah, they look fantastic. The surface looks very similar to what we've done in Nottingham actually, but just a bit Nottingham straight and 90s, whereas this is obviously just flowing. They do look superb. I'm sure there's going to be plenty of dust as well.
And making it 2 wins out of 2, Carl and Rob Ture's return to the SRC continues to go with a bang. The Swift crew almost 2 minutes ahead at the top of the class in 26th overall. We would lose the cadet of John Brownie and Gordon Ritchie in SS8, as well as reigning class champions Stephen and Mary Wood, the Fiesta crew falling off the road in stage 4.
Stephen and Mary Wood.
Right, it looks a lively thing. Well, that looks a lot of fun to drive.
Third at the finish, Alistair Brearley backed up his solid second on the border with another top 3 in the class. This moves him into equal first in the class points. Going one better than the border, Paul McArlane had Aaron McWhinney in the hot seat this time, while regular co-driver Niall McKenna continues to be a new dad. Amazingly, the car was all but destroyed 2 weeks prior on a tarmac event. A Herculean effort to get it ready paid off with a second in class. Paul now tied on points with Alistair Brearley. Dominating the class, however, Duncan McDonald had Neil Ross back in the car after Neil had missed the border. 13th overall, and a class win by over 2 minutes, showed they were finally rediscovering their mojo after a rough 2018. Leading the two-wheel drive race early on, Ian Wilson and Chris Williams were on form right up to when they lost all their clutch fluid, putting them out. Fifth in class on his first SRC event as an escort driver, Keir Beaton spent the day entertaining everyone. Unfortunately, 50 seconds of road penalties would drop the blue escort behind the white car of Jamie McIntyre. For his part, Jamie was only on his second Forest event ever, with first-time co-driver Damien Greenall alongside. He managed a solid 24th overall and took the award for Best Improvement in Seeding. One minute ahead and 22nd, Gordon Murray and David O'Brien backed up their second in class on the border with third on the Speyside. This result establishes them at the top of the class points after 2 rounds and top in the overall two-wheel drive points.
Can I ask you, what in the name of God are you doing with a BMW?
Got to try these things, haven't you? No,
Well, unfortunately we couldn't get out in the Fiesta this weekend after what happened at the Border County shakedown. There was just too much damage in the car to get fixed. So, and the cost of fixing it as well, obviously. So it's going to have to put that in the back burner for a few events, but we thought we'd come here and have some fun.
38 seconds ahead, Mark McCulloch and Michael Hendry were experimenting with rear-wheel drive in the woods for the first time. All in, it was a good start. Second in class and one of the cheapest cars in the rally, along with 18th overall. "45 seconds up the road, Keith Robertson and Stephen Brown were out in the big Beamer for some Rally Finland prep. The car now sporting a new exhaust system for some more power and, crucially, more of that glorious noise. The Class 1 was a perfect way to test the car.
It's great fun to drive, it really is. And one of the reasons we've got it is we're going to go over to Finland later in the year.
So I believe, yeah.
So we're just testing it and making some changes. Yeah. And each event we're doing, we're getting to learn a bit more about it. So.
It sounds glorious as well, I mean, it really does.
We had to make a new exhaust for it because it was too quiet before. So we made an exhaust that comes out the side, but that's not allowed in Finland. So we've got to take it off when we go over there. But
Stephen, first experience in that car?
Second experience in that car, yeah. Did World Cup last year in it, but it's been a couple of upgrades since then. Yeah.
And of course on the loose today, a bit different from World Cup.
Aye, definitely, yeah. A lot more sideways.
Yes, I'm sure it was. Are you going to Finland with him, or is he taking somebody else?
Yes, this was a Finland recce for both of us.
There was carnage in the Subaru Cup ranks. Mike Grant, Brett McKenzie, Andy Chalmers and Cup leader Alex Pirrie all failing to make the finish.
So another Subaru coming down, carrying good speed down the straight, getting the speed scrubbed off on the brakes, a bit wild round the hairpin.
Making it 2 fourths in a row, Paul Collins was showing off his sideways style on the Speyside. Unfortunately, 2 minutes of road penalties would hold the Green Impreza back from challenging for third.
But if we get round in one piece with no problems, that'll be just dandy. It'll be fine.
It's going to be hot out there on the stages.
I think it'll be very hot and very dusty and very sweaty, so it's going to be...
Are you looking forward to that sweatiness?
Not really, but I think at the end of the day, it's just going to be good fun, eh?
And that third would belong to Championship supporter Mike Motes. With son Michael navigating for the first time, Mike managed a solid 36th overall. Taking second on the event and moving into the points lead, former junior champions Max and Callum Redpath continue to learn the four-wheel drive game. 2 minutes clear of Motes by the finish. Taking a cup win on their return to the SRC, Matthew Thompson and Ian Graham definitely deserved their good result. Having to bodge the rear brake pipes together with clamps made the performance even more impressive on their way to 14th overall. Maximum Cup points and a Star Drive nomination.
Nice tiny line there for the Subaru.
Those of you with good memories will remember Stuart Irvine from his Impreza days in the early 2000s. Now he was back in the rallying game with his Orange Evo. With son Mark in the co-driver seat for the first time, Stuart managed a very impressive 19th overall. And fresh from his best SRC finish on the border, Bob Adamson was running well once again on the Speyside. 16th overall in the S2000 Fabia was only 2 places down from his border result, as his good season continues.